now is a piece by a historic woman composer. I've been sort of exploring historic women composers of classical music in Europe in the 17th and 19th century. And the composer we're going to feature now is Emilie Meyer. She's German and she lived during the 1800s. And what I've learned through my research about these women in this time and period of history is that the reality was if women were going to compose, they had to have time to do it, and they had to have money and access to education to be trained how to do it. So Emilie kind of fit into that. So she was born into a more wealthy family, and from an early age she was able to have training on piano and different musical instruments. She had a musical promise from an early age. Unfortunately, her mother passed away when she was very, very young. When she got to her 20s, before she never married, she never kind of reached that part because right before she maybe would have been sort of expected to do the whole marriage and domestic life thing, her father passed away, but then she was left with a giant sum of money for inheritance. So she decided to use that money to travel around Europe and seek out training with the different top composer, teachers of composition of the day. And then she spent her life, she composed 8 symphonies. She did many overtures, many pieces for voice and piano, string quartets, chamber music. She did so much. And she would travel around Europe as it was performed and premiered to help with the rehearsals to make sure the music was performed as she wanted it to be. She was very involved with that. So during her lifetime, she was very well known and highly recognized. Unfortunately, her music, and this was often common for women composers, was never really published officially. So what survives today are handwritten manuscripts, which are a little difficult to perform from. So when I created this arrangement for our ensemble here, I was reading from her handwritten music parts, which were really it's quite something to get to know someone that well, that you recognize their handwriting, and yet they're from the past. So I decided to create this piece for us because we were sort of missing essentially I wanted to be able to customize something to the people we have here and this year. So this worked out really well. So this is a theme from her second symphony, the first movement. The first movement is mostly stormy and exciting and kind of overwhelming and big sounding. And then there's these moments of just peace and calm where this theme comes in. Emilie Meyer was a big fan of Beethoven, and there's parts of this melody that remind me of Ode to Joy, sort of in the spirit of that Ode to Joy melody from Beethoven. So this is actually the end of the movement. It comes back to this theme, and then the theme will change keys, so you'll hear us midway, we'll change our key, modulate to something different, and then we'll sort of end very peacefully and quietly, and that's how the first movement ends. So I hope that I've been sort of inspired you to go seek out some of Emilie Meyer's music. Her last name is spelled M-A-Y-E-R. There are professional recordings of many of her symphonies and things, and they're thrilling to listen to. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy our rendition now of her theme from Symphony No. 2. Thank you.